Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today doing a bit of a late night discussion. This was originally going to be a live commentary, and in fact the footage you're seeing is from said live commentary. I got about 5 minutes in, and then Audacity was like, I'm going to fail you harder than I've failed you in a very long time, my old friend. I think it's been maybe actually a couple months at this point since I've failed you. So, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to fail you today. Please forgive me. And then it failed me. So live commentary went, bye-bye, corrupt, and I was like, oh, crap. It's actually pretty entertaining. I think I even, at one point, pretended I was Batman, vocally. I don't know, I'm a little bit loopy lately. So, I figured I would just do the same discussion over that footage now because it was just a quick and very important discussion that I did want to have. It's something I've sort of had on the back burner for a while now. It's not really one of those things that I see people sort of talk about all the time, but it happens enough where I feel it is important that we discuss it, especially when we talk about the creator's perspective. For those of you guys who are out there who are looking to become streamers or YouTube content creators, I think there's a lot of value in this discussion, making sure that you guys don't get too lost in what other people might try to tell you. So, saving this for a rainy day. It's a very rainy day. Let's get things rocking and rolling. There are two sides to this coin, and we're going to start with that creator side of it. The discussion I'm talking about is the whole perception of player skill. So I've had people tell me in the past, they see people post this on other people's videos. I've seen people post it on, pretty much anyone who is in Benchy gets comments like, man, you really expect people to watch you. You should probably get better at the game, man. Man, if you really think people are going to show up to your stream, you should probably get better at the game, man. I mean, Benchy's over there getting like 60 kills a match, man. You better be that good if you think people are actually going to sub to you. I don't know if they sound that ridiculous, but that's the kind of how I always make the haters up in my head, which is absurd voices. Kind of like Iniquity does, but I've got a different voice every single time I do it because I'm not as consistent as he is. So, the idea is that in a game like Titanfall 2, especially a competitive game, people won't watch your content or you can't be successful as a streamer or as a creator if you're not God tier. Some people would say that you have to be absolutely God tier. You can't even be mediocre. Nope, you're not God tier. No one's going to watch you. That is, number one, a massive fallacy. It's a big steaming pile of donkey poop, like 6 piles piled into one larger pile, and then they sat for 10 days. It's just absolutely false. The reality is, and it doesn't take much to recognize this reality, if you spend even 5 minutes browsing YouTube, looking at streams on Twitch, you'll see the diversity there, you will see the variety. Number one, there are thousands of creators, millions of creators, and they all put their own spin on things, or at least the people who end up generally being successful, they take a formula that already exists and they put their own spin on it. Maybe it is to just be really good at a game. Maybe you stream, maybe you started streaming PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and you're someone who spent a lot of time playing King of the Kill and H1Z1. That's your thing. You're just really good. People watch you because you're good. They don't even care that you barely talk on stream. They just like to see your face. You're all in the zone. You're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get this kill. Here we go. Number 1 ranked in North America. Here we go, guys. Let me just take a sip of this G Fuel. We've totally got this victory. Maybe that's you, and people watch you for that. That's okay. Obviously, there's a reason Benchy's channel is successful. People do like watching people who are skilled. But that's not everyone. And that's not to say that you can't be entertaining and suck at the game at the same time. Kind of like, well, me. Maybe you are informing and you educate people, but you're not that great at the game. Again, like me. Maybe you just like to make people laugh and you're okay at the game. Jared would gladly agree with me and admit with me and come on here and say, yeah, I'm not anywhere near the level of Benchy, but I like to make people smile, I like to make people laugh. That's what he's good at, and you know what? There are people who are looking to watch that. The main thing here is value. What sort of value are you providing the people who are going to watch your content? Now, that value could be valuable to one person and not valuable to another person. You might watch Benchy and think, that's great, I respect the guy, but that's really not entertaining to me. And that's kind of where I sit. I'll watch Benchy's Kraber montages because anything Kraber is entertaining to me. But the rest of it, I'm kind of like, okay, it's the dude slaughtering people. It's not really my thing personally. Maybe you love that. Maybe that guy over there loves that. The girl behind him, she totally digs that. But I'm over here and I'm like, no, I'd rather listen to someone talk. I'd rather listen to some discussion, something that gets my brain churning, that turns on the cauldron inside of my brain and gets it bubbling and toiling away. It makes me think a little bit. I also like to watch people who can educate me and inform me about a certain topic, and I definitely like to watch people who just make me laugh. Different strokes for different folks, and it's the exact same thing when it comes to creating content on any of these platforms. So if you're a new creator, just remember value. What sort of value are you going to provide the person who's going to turn up and watch your video? And remember that you can't you can't appeal to everyone. You can't please everyone. You never will. So you have to find something that you, number one, are good at, something that you feel you can deliver in a strong manner, and then you look for that audience. You hope that audience finds you and they say, damn, whew, that guy, man, he's a real funny dude. There's a knee slapper over there. Or maybe they're like, man, you know, he's got some really great statistical breakdowns of the weapon in this game. I am so much more informed about the damage output of these weapons now. I love this guy. Go sub to him. So just keep that in mind. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't play a certain game or you can't create content and be successful from it just because you're not amazing at it. That's the biggest pile of horse honky donkey poop this side of the meridian. Anyhow, let's talk about the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is very much that elitism factor. The idea that I see time and time again, people saying, well, your opinion doesn't really matter. You don't even have a 70 win-loss ratio. Your opinion really doesn't matter. Your kill-death ratio is only 1.8. Oh, you mean you only play the game 3 hours a week? Why the hell would I ever listen to what you have to say about what the game should and shouldn't be doing? You know, the idea that you should only be listening to the top players when it comes to game balance or just listening to someone's opinion on something about the game, that's another big pile of, that's rhino poop. That's a big pile of rhino poop, and you're just shoveling it in the back of the truck all day long. It's very important, number one, as players, that we gather as many opinions as possible. And as a developer, when you go to balance the game, that you gather as many opinions as possible. Obviously, you're going to look at what the players are saying, and you should be looking at all of the different spectrums. You should be looking at the guy who plays 4 hours a week, the guy who plays 100 hours a week, the guy who is top tier with an insane kill-death ratio, the guy who is medium tier, the guy who's at the bottom. It's important that you look at all of the different pieces that make up that picture, and then you compare it against your picture, the statistics, and you say, well, these are what the numbers say, this is what the community is saying, let's cross-reference all this, and let's make a change. Let's nerf Ion's laser shot. Let's modify the devotion. Let's buff up Scorch over here. Let's do this, you know? It's about all the pieces, all of the people playing the game, especially when you look at a game like Titanfall 2, where we don't have like a segmented community. We don't have a ranked experience and then a casual experience. It's all just in one, and that's the way Respawn wants to make it happen. So that's definitely the way they need to be looking at the player base and what people are saying. And when it comes to just the community side of things and the way we interact with one another, again, that elitism, it's just close-minded rubbish. You know, I'm always willing to listen to the opinion of someone who doesn't put in as much time as me. And if you look at anything in real life, you know, any field, science, whatever, there is always value for people at the top to listen to people who are maybe less skilled or sitting at the bottom. There are perspectives that you can't see depending on the skill level that you sit at. So, okay, I'm not as good as Benchy. Yeah, that means I don't see the game the same way he does, but it works vice versa. He is much better than I am, so that means he doesn't see the game the same way I do. So I might pick up on something that he didn't even realize because it's a non-issue for him. But that doesn't mean that it's not an issue in the game just because he doesn't see it. You know, if someone else is seeing it, it still can be potentially a concern. So, closed-mindedness, it just, number one, there's too much of that crap, man. I'm really tired of seeing it. I'm really tired of turning to just about every outlet where people talk about Titanfall 2 and seeing people tear apart Call of Duty, or tear apart this game, and it's just all kind of sickening. And then when it happens internally within a community, it makes me even more sick. It's like, you just got done tearing apart a game you don't even play. Oh, I'm bored with that. Let's tear apart the person who plays the same game that I do, but who isn't as good as me. What a load of crap. Just no. Get rid of it. I'm done with it. I don't want to see it in my comments anymore. I don't want to see it anywhere. Y'all just need to buck up, enjoy the frickin' game, and remember that opinions are opinions. We all have one, and there is value often to be found by listening to the opinion of others. You don't have to agree. You don't have to accept that opinion, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to it and have some respect for the perspective that that person is trying to give you. That's it, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's just be a little bit better to each other as a community. There's not that many of us left playing Titanfall 2. The last thing you need is people telling other people they shouldn't be talking about the game because they don't have a 6.0 kill-death ratio. No more of that, alright? I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Play some Titanfall 2. The Prey demo is also out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I strongly recommend you give that a go. I'm hoping to talk about it sometime this weekend, possibly next week. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to streaming next week as well. That's something I'm very, very excited about. Also, congratulations to Iniquity for getting his affiliate program. My buddy Typical Phineas, he also got accepted in the affiliate program. Congrats to both of those dudes. I'll have their streams listed right down in the pinned comment if you want to go check them out. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, play smart, to play to challenge yourself, but most importantly, to play for fun.